Hello, Warriors fans. We have a lot to unpack today, and things are heating up around the Bay Area. The Golden State Warriors are navigating a complicated season, and at the center of much of the drama is Jonathan Kuminga. The young forward, who came into the league as a lottery pick, has been under the microscope almost since the moment he stepped onto the court. His talent is undeniable, but his relationship with the team seems to be increasingly strained. Over the past months, it has become clear that Kuminga wants out, and the ongoing uncertainty surrounding his future has created ripples throughout the roster and coaching staff. Initially, he delayed signing a contract extension, leaving fans and management in suspense, and only recently did he agree to a 2-year deal, apparently after failing to secure a trade. Even though Kuminga has publicly stated he will maintain professionalism, his attitude and recent decisions suggest there is still tension in the locker room. The situation escalated after a recent game where head coach Steve Kerr made the surprising decision to send Kuminga back to the bench following a lopsided loss. This move seemed to signal that the team may have reached a breaking point with the forward. Many observers are connecting the dots between comments made by veterans like Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler, who recently spoke about sacrifice, personal agendas, and the realities of player trades. The timing of Kuminga's demotion appears more than coincidental in that context. Kerr has always maintained a tight leash on Kuminga, carefully monitoring his performance, especially on the defensive end. After observing a lack of consistent effort, the coaching staff opted to give more minutes to rookie Will Richardson, who was picked in the later stages of the draft. This strategic move not only speaks to the team's growing frustration, but also raises questions about how much longer Kuminga can maintain his current trajectory with the Warriors. In a recent matchup against the San Antonio Spurs, Kuminga's role was limited, and he played just 12 minutes before being sidelined due to knee soreness. He managed only a single shot attempt, which he missed. The circumstances surrounding the injury raised eyebrows because it came after just a brief period on the floor, a situation that is uncommon for professional teams who typically identify such issues in pregame checks. With trade eligibility still a few months away, Golden State faces a challenging decision: how to balance the young forward's undeniable talent with the ongoing disruptions his presence may create in the locker room. The organization could be forced to accept lower returns in a potential trade simply to restore harmony and focus among the remaining roster. Meanwhile, the Warriors have had to rely heavily on Stephen Curry, whose performance continues to be nothing short of elite. Despite being in the later stages of his career, Curry remains the engine of the team, putting up impressive numbers night after night. In the recent win over San Antonio, he poured in 44 points, carrying the team and demonstrating once again why he remains one of the most formidable players in the league. Curry's ability to consistently produce at such a high level is a blessing for Golden State, but it also raises questions about sustainability. Can the team continue to lean on him this heavily for an entire season without risking fatigue or injury? The coaching staff and front office are undoubtedly weighing this question as they strategize for both the present season and the future. Jimmy Butler has stepped up as a secondary option, contributing significantly in several games, but it remains unclear whether he can shoulder more of the burden to give Curry some breathing room. Balancing star power is a delicate task, especially when the team has other veteran presences whose performance has been inconsistent. Draymond Green, a cornerstone of Golden State's identity, has struggled to contribute offensively, scoring only 3 points in back-to-back games against Indiana and Oklahoma City, followed by a modest 6 points on inefficient shooting against the Spurs. The lack of production from veteran leaders has fueled discussions about whether the team's challenges are more systemic than purely related to younger players. While some have criticized rising talents like Brandon Podziemski, the argument has gained traction that the veteran core may be underperforming relative to expectations, leaving a heavier load on Curry and the supporting cast. With the Warriors hovering around a .500 record after a strong start to the season, there is mounting pressure to make meaningful adjustments. The team has experienced highs, like impressive wins against competitive opponents, but also lows, including blowout losses that expose weaknesses in both strategy and execution. Balancing experience with youth, managing egos and personal agendas, and keeping the roster competitive are all part of the puzzle Golden State is trying to solve. The organization is faced with difficult questions: how to integrate young players effectively, how to maximize Curry's remaining prime years, and whether further trades or roster moves are necessary to position themselves as true contenders. As the trade window approaches, speculation about potential deals intensifies. Kuminga becomes eligible for trades in mid-January, which could open doors for Golden State to pursue assets that better fit their current strategy. Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski, and other young players remain valuable commodities that could be part of future transactions. Rumors and speculation about possible targets, such as Lauri Markkanen or even Anthony Davis, have circulated, reflecting the team's openness to making bold moves if it aligns with their championship aspirations. The balancing act is delicate. Maintain continuity and team chemistry while addressing deficiencies that may hinder a deep playoff run. Meanwhile, Curry continues to anchor the team with his unmatched skill and leadership. Watching him perform at such a high level is both inspiring and a reminder of how pivotal he is to Golden State's success. But it also underscores the urgency for the team to develop sustainable solutions, whether through internal growth or strategic acquisitions. Every game carries weight, and as the season progresses, the Warriors' decisions regarding their young talents, veteran contributions, and potential trades will have a lasting impact on their trajectory. The pressure is on for the coaching staff, front office, and players alike to navigate a complex landscape while keeping their eyes on the ultimate prize, contending at the highest level and reclaiming the glory that fans have come to expect from Golden State. As the Warriors move deeper into the season, the tension between expectations and reality continues to build. Every performance feels magnified, every rotation questioned, and every mistake dissected. This is what happens when a team has built a dynasty. The standard is perfection, and anything less becomes a source of debate. The truth is, Golden State is no longer the invincible force that once swept through the league, but the DNA of that greatness is still there, held together by Stephen Curry's brilliance and the culture he helped shape. Yet even Curry's extraordinary efforts cannot mask the cracks that have appeared. The Warriors' identity has always been built around selflessness, discipline, and chemistry, but lately, that harmony seems fragile. The handling of Jonathan Kuminga's situation has become symbolic of a deeper struggle. It's not just about one player's attitude or minutes. It's about what the franchise represents now. The young forward embodies potential, athleticism, and the future, but his inconsistency and frustration mirror the uncertainty surrounding the team's direction. Steve Kerr has always valued trust and effort above raw ability, and Kuminga's fluctuating engagement level challenges that philosophy. While Kerr's decision to bench him may appear harsh, it was also a message. Effort and teamwork come before ego. But such decisions carry risk. A locker room filled with veterans chasing another title and young players seeking recognition can become volatile when communication breaks down. Draymond Green remains the emotional core, the voice that has driven this team through both triumph and turmoil, but even he has shown signs of wear. His intensity, once the glue that bound the roster, now occasionally fuels friction. His shooting struggles and emotional outbursts have drawn criticism, yet his leadership remains vital. The question is how much longer the Warriors can rely on passion alone to mask the erosion of their defensive dominance. Once feared for their versatility and discipline, the Warriors now find themselves scrambling too often, surrendering open looks and struggling to contain younger, faster opponents. Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler's presence has added another layer to this complex mix. On his best nights, he provides stability, intensity, and two-way toughness, but he has also been known to clash when expectations aren't met. The combination of strong personalities like Butler, Green, and Curry creates both power and pressure. When everything clicks, the team looks unstoppable, sharing the ball, defending with purpose, and playing joyful basketball. But when the chemistry slips the energy shifts dramatically, and frustration spills over into visible tension on the court. The front office now faces some of the hardest decisions of the dynasty era. Do they double down on the current core and trust that experience will prevail, or do they embrace change and explore the market for transformative moves? The possibility of moving Kuminga, or even packaging multiple young assets, looms large. Lauri Markkanen remains an intriguing potential addition, a stretch forward who could complement Curry's spacing and offensive rhythm. The mere mention of Anthony Davis sparks imagination, though such a blockbuster scenario would come with massive risks. What's clear is that Golden State can no longer afford to stand still. The Western Conference is evolving quickly, with teams like Oklahoma City and Minnesota emerging as legitimate threats. The Warriors must adapt or risk fading quietly while the next generation takes over. Curry's greatness is both their foundation and their burden. Every time he drops 40 or 50 points, he reminds the world of what's possible, but also highlights how dependent the team has become on his heroics. He remains one of the league's most efficient scorers, yet he cannot carry this load forever. At some point, the organization must find a way to build a structure that supports him without draining his energy before the playoffs. The margin for error is small. One misstep in roster balance or chemistry could derail the season completely. Even through the turbulence, the Warriors' spirit hasn't disappeared. Chase Center still roars when Curry hits one of his impossible threes, and moments of brilliance still surface in flashes. A quick ball movement leading to an open shot, a perfectly timed defensive rotation, a glimpse of the dynasty's past. Those moments remind fans why this team still matters, why there is still belief. The question is whether those flashes can turn into consistency. Behind the scenes, Kerr and his staff are under pressure to rediscover the formula that once made them unstoppable. The motion offense, spacing, and unselfishness that defined their best years must evolve. Teams have adapted to their style, and the Warriors can no longer rely solely on the same playbook. They need new wrinkles, a modernized approach that leverages their experience without dulling their creativity. That evolution might mean giving young players more freedom, experimenting with lineups, and trusting development even if it comes with mistakes. In the end, this season could define the Warriors' legacy more than any before. If they can weather the turbulence, rebuild chemistry, and align around a shared purpose, another deep playoff run isn't out of reach. But if fractures widen, if egos and fatigue outweigh cohesion, the chapter that began with banners and glory could edge toward its closing act. For now, everything depends on how they respond in the coming weeks. Will they fight through the noise and rediscover who they are, or will this be the moment the dynasty finally shows it has run its course? One thing's certain, every fan watching knows that with Stephen Curry still on the floor, anything remains possible, and no one is ready to count the Warriors out just yet. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Whispers are swirling around the Bay Area after Stephen Curry reportedly made some eyebrow-raising comments about the Golden State Warriors behind closed doors. According to those close to the situation, the usually composed superstar might have finally let a bit of frustration slip, and what he said has people inside and outside the organization buzzing. While no one is going on record, several sources suggest Curry expressed concern about the team's current direction and hinted that something needs to change. Those words, coming from the face of the franchise and a four-time champion, carry the kind of weight that can shake even the most stable locker room. Insiders describe the conversation as emotional but not explosive. Still, it's enough to fuel endless speculation about whether Curry's patience is running thin. He has been the Warriors' emotional and spiritual center for more than a decade, the calm within chaos, the symbol of their dynasty. If he's raising his voice now, even subtly, fans have reason to pay attention. Some say he's frustrated with the inconsistency surrounding the roster. Others believe he's pushing for the front office to make bold moves before the championship window fully closes. And there are whispers that the usually upbeat guard is tired of carrying the weight of expectations while the team struggles to find its rhythm. No one doubts Curry's loyalty. He's built the modern Warriors, body and soul. But even legends have limits. And if he truly believes the team has lost its edge, it might signal a new chapter on the horizon. For now, everything remains speculation. Still, the echo of his supposed words, "something needs to change," continues to ripple through the league. Whether it's a warning, a plea, or a spark for renewal, one thing is certain. When Stephen Curry speaks, the basketball world listens. And right now, everyone's listening very, very closely. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.